Do you understand why this video is so important? Friends, I work daily trying to bring back Jews from the church. And you know what's one of the main arguments missionaries use against Judaism? They tell me, look at Chabad Lubavitch. You see, like this, they try to prove that Yashka's Mashiach also. Friends, like Chazal teach us, it's an affair to make Judaism look ridiculous. Judaism is not a game, and all of you involved in this heresy should open your eyes and see how your messianic declarations are ultimately hurting Yiddishkeit. Furthermore, the Rambam writes in Igris Teman on regarding how and where the Mashiach will arise. It says he will arise specifically in the land of Israel, and there will begin his revelation. And regarding how he will rise, he will not be known at all before his arising, while he is not Mashiach, so that it will be said about him, such and such from such and such family. Rather, a man will arise who will be unknown before he is revealed. Friends, this is another disqualifying aspect of the Rebbe being Mashiach, because honestly, who didn't know who the Rebbe was? The Rambam stated that the Mashiach will not be known till he is revealed. Furthermore, there's a midrash that states that when Yaakov prophetically saw that Shimshon died before fulfilling the role of Mashiach, he concluded that Shimshon could not be Mashiach. Friends, this is a serious problem, but many actually saw this coming, and they said that perhaps due to Chabad's persecution in the Soviet Union, the decay of Orthodoxy nowadays, the trauma and tragedy of the Holocaust, as well as the importance placed upon the impending redemption in the writings of the two previous Rebbes, Messianic fervor was extremely high in the movement. Actually, the fifth Lubavitcher Rebbe said in 1908, "We are in the last generation. Now is the generation of Mashiach." The present generation is the generation of Mashiach without any doubt. Also, the sixth Lubavitcher Rebbe said in 1927, "We are entering a new era in our time, and I do not mean spiritual revelations. I mean actual greeting Mashiach. I am not giving an extended period of time for this. It will be in my lifetime," he said. In 1939, he added, "We can tangibly see that this is a generation preceding Mashiach. Mashiach is already here. He is beyond the wall. He who has good hearing already hear him. He who has good sight can already see him." Sounds familiar? In 1952, the Rebbe, the seventh generation of Lubavitcher Rebbe, said, "Mashiach is about to arrive, and not only the younger of the group, but the eldest of the group, in his lifetime, Mashiach will come." You see, friends, so anyone following the history of Lubavitch shouldn't be surprised. And if you were raised in the movement, if you yourself claim to be a Lubavitcher Chassid, and feel that you've been religiously violated and are wondering, who can you trust now? My friends, trust in Hashem, His Torah, and our Gedolim. Furthermore, the Ramban, Nachmanides, in his famous disputation said, "I cannot believe in his messiahship," speaking about Yashka, because the prophet said he will have dominion from sea to sea, from the river to the ends of the earth, and he, Yashka, did not have dominion. The prophet also says, "No longer shall they teach one another or say to each other, 'Know the Lord,' for they will all know me," as it says in the prophets. Furthermore, the earth will be full of the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. It also says in the prophets, "They shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. And the nation shall not lift sword against nation, neither shall they know war anymore. But from the time of Yashka, the world is full of murder and theft." Now, here, I'm not trying to make a comparison between Yashka and the Rebbe Lahavdil, God forbid. But here the Ramban is trying to tell us that, in other words, someone cannot be Mashiach unless he brings in Yemas HaMashiach, the Messianic age. So again, this disqualifies the Lubavitcher Rebbe again. As a matter of fact, the Rebbe himself wrote that Mashiach cannot come from the dead when speaking of the possibility of David HaMelech being Mashiach. He wrote, evidently he must say that David HaMelech cannot himself be Mashiach. Why? Because it teaches that he will be a leader forever and ever, because the initial work of Mashiach must be done before the redemption, as brought down by the Rambam in Hilchos Malachim, and certainly before the resurrection. So according to the Rebbe himself, David could not be Mashiach because he died. And actually, the most disgusting offshoot of the Mishachist movement is the New Elokist or Borenu movement, which publicly declares the Rebbe not only to be Mashiach, but to be God himself, Chas v'shalom. This is why, my friends, Gedolim like the Vilna Gaon and Rav Shach came up against the Lubavitch movement. Actually, when Rav Shach heard that Chabad was teaching that a Rebbe is the essence and being of God placed in a body, Rav Shach correctly called it Avodah Zorah. He instructed Jews not to eat meat slaughtered by Lubavitcher Shochtim or recognize Chabad Hasidim as adherents of authentic Judaism. Even Rav Yaakov Weinberg, the former Rosh Hashiva of Ner Yisrael, said that one should not pray in a Chabad synagogue because they pray to a different God. And Rav Aaron Feldman of Ner Yisrael also said that one should not learn from a Meshachist, and also that a Meshachist should not serve as a rabbi. Rabbi Shlomo Miller, Rosh Kela of Kol Avrechim, also holds that one cannot trust their shkita or refer to them as rabbi. Rabbi Chaim David Keller, in a 1997 article regarding the Meshachist movement, said, "It will set us back on the true course to reach out and bring Jews closer to Hashem and His mitzvahs, and will evolve into a huge messianic cult whose purpose is to propagate the divinity and worship of the Rebbe." Rabbi Avraham Ravitz, head of Israel's Dekel HaTorah party, is quoted as saying, "If it were not labeled Jewish, you would say it is a cult. The Rebbe has great influence and his movement has many followers, but it is a strain on Judaism and a strain on Israel. Regarding the arrival of the Messiah, they don't want to bring the Messiah. They want to bring their Rebbe as the Messiah. Chabad has become a cult." Even the Brisker Rav said that if we weren't so busy fighting the Zionists, we'd be fighting the Meshachist. Friends, in case you grew up within the movement and thought that your movement was unopposed in Judaism, think again. Look at this list of rabbis who oppose it. And we have to remember that the purpose of Torah and being Jewish is not to coronate some Messiah, but rather to teach us and others how to live life in a sanctified manner. So next time you see a billboard or someone hands you a pamphlet claiming that the Messiah is here, just send them over to bejewish.org so we can square them away. Thank you.